Hello my motor enthusiasts. Welcome to another thrilling episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast.
Hello Enzo, quite the spectacle at the Shanghai International Circuit, wasn't it?
Absolutely, William. After a 5-year hiatus, the circuit returned with a bang, hosting a riveting sprint event.
And Max Verstappen, from a disappointing 4th in the sprint qualifying to topping the podium, what a comeback.
Spot on, William. Despite the chaos with numerous safety cars and restarts, Verstappen showcased his class by dominating the main race.
Speaking of class, Lando Norris also turned heads, didn't he? Starting from pole in the sprint qualifying and finishing strong in the Grand Prix.
Indeed, Lando made a remarkable recovery after dropping down initially. Finishing second in the Grand Prix is no small feat.
And what about Fernando Alonso? That late charge through the field was something else.
Oh, absolutely thrilling. Alonso's offset strategy really paid off, even after that clash in the sprint with Carlos Sainz.
It seems like there were quite a few narratives playing out. Mercedes struggled, while Nico Hülkenberg kept scoring crucial points for Haas.
Yes, and don't forget the team's still looking to get off the mark this season. It's turning out to be a gripping championship, William.
Certainly is, Enzo. Looking forward to unpacking more of these performances today.
Hello everyone, this is Enzo, your host at F1 Motor Fever podcast.
And I'm William, at your service.
You're joined by William today. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss our thrilling Formula One discussions.
Hi.
Let's put the pedal to the metal as we dive into today's race analysis. I came across an enlightening piece on the Formula One official site. The article was published on the 24th of April, 2024. It provided a detailed breakdown of the Shanghai Sprint weekend.
It's essential to rely on such credible sources for accurate information. Always good to verify facts from well-established sites.
Absolutely, keeps us well informed and ahead of the curve. Let's delve deeper into the race details. After 5 years off the Formula One calendar, the Shanghai International Circuit made a spectacular comeback last weekend, hosting the first sprint event of the season. The action was non-stop, with some drivers truly standing out in the power rankings.
Could you give examples of drivers who excelled according to these rankings?
Certainly. Lando Norris was a star from the start, securing pole position during the rain-affected sprint qualifying. Despite a setback in the first lap of the sprint, he made a strong recovery in the Grand Prix, finishing second, sandwiched between the Red Bull drivers, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez.
Quite the performance then, and what about Verstappen?
Max Verstappen, the reigning world champion, showed why he holds that title. After a less than ideal 4th place in the sprint qualifying, he stormed to victory in the sprint and then dominated the Grand Prix on Sunday, overcoming numerous restarts and incidents.
And any surprises from other drivers?
Definitely, Fernando Alonso, fresh from signing a new deal with Aston Martin, secured third on the grid for both the sprint and the Grand Prix. His sprint efforts were derailed due to a clash, but he made a thrilling charge through the field in the Grand Prix to finish 7th. Meanwhile, Nico Hülkenberg continues to impress, consistently finishing within the top 10 for Haas.
It sounds like a weekend full of drama and impressive comebacks.
Moving on to more updates from the weekend, Nico Hülkenberg's performance was notably crucial for Haas, earning them another valuable point and helping to create a gap between themselves and teams like Williams and Alpine, which are yet to score this season.
Interesting dynamics at the midfield. How about the battles at the front?
At the sharp end, Charles Leclerc from Monaco was particularly impressive. Although he was outqualified by his teammate Carlos Sainz for the sprint, Leclerc turned the tables in the 100 km dash and the Grand Prix, securing the title of best of the rest after the Red Bulls and McLaren's Norris.
And what of Mercedes? They've usually been contenders at the front.
Indeed, but this weekend was tough for Mercedes. They struggled for pace when compared to Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, and Aston Martin. Lewis Hamilton managed to grab some points, but as George Russell pointed out, there's significant work to do before the next race in Miami.
Seems like a challenging phase for Mercedes. Any updates on Sainz's performance?
Carlos Sainz had a mixed weekend. After a strong start to the season, he found the Shanghai circuit challenging, particularly after clashing with Leclerc in the sprint and spinning in qualifying. He finished the Grand Prix behind his teammate.
And what about the other drivers? Any notable performances?
Sergio Perez is another driver worth mentioning. He's been narrowing the gap to his teammate Verstappen throughout the season. However, he found himself third in both the sprint and the Grand Prix, notably affected by the timing of safety car periods, which held back his challenge.
It sounds like the safety car played a significant role in the race strategies.
Absolutely, and Daniel Ricciardo too had an interesting weekend. He looked poised to score points after outperforming his teammate Yuki Tsunoda with a new chassis, but his race was cut short when he was rear-ended by Lance Stroll. Turning our attention to some of the teams struggling this season, Williams, Alpine, and Kick Sauber are yet to score in 2024. Alex Albon, despite battling on the proverbial knife edge, came close in China. He qualified 14th and finished 12th, just 5 seconds shy of earning a point.
It must be frustrating to come so close yet remain without points.
Absolutely. And speaking of close calls, Valtteri Bottas had a promising weekend for Kick Sauber. He qualified in the top 10, but unfortunately, his engine gave up, forcing him to retire from the race.
That's tough luck for Bottas. What happened with the penalties mentioned?
During the Grand Prix, several drivers, including Daniel Ricciardo and Lance Stroll, were penalized. Ricciardo's frustrations were particularly evident after his race was effectively ended following a crash caused by Stroll.
It seems like a mix of high spirits and high stakes this weekend.
Indeed, and Esteban Ocon also narrowly missed scoring Alpine's first point of the season. It was a tense battle for the top 10 spots, with drivers like McLaren's Oscar Piastri and Lewis Hamilton also just missing out.
With so much action, the next races are bound to be just as exciting, especially with teams looking to recover and score their first points of the season.
That's right. The upcoming races in Miami and beyond will be crucial for these teams to turn their fortunes around. William, fancy taking a gander at what the internet has to say on a rather spicy topic?
Right, listen to this fresh off the press. Jeffin Luke announced, quote, Ferrari announces multi-year deal with Hewlett-Packard as title sponsor, with the team being called Scuderia Ferrari HP from the Miami Grand Prix onwards, unquote.
Blimey, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? What's the general reaction been like?
Well, the comments are a mixed bag. User White Death 57 quipped, quote, this has to be a war crime, right? Surely we can get them all brought up for this at The Hague, unquote. A bit over the top, but it reflects the shock.
Sounds like they've stirred up a proper hornet's nest. Anyone else?
Yes, there's a funny one here from user Parker Petrov, quote, very excited Scuderia Ferrari HP Monster Energy presented by Microsoft in partnership with McDonald's to hit the racetrack, unquote. It appears some fans are having a laugh imagining all sorts of sponsorships.
That's a good chuckle. Any serious takes among the lot?
Indeed, Sydney to London offered a more critical view, quote, knowing HP, they'll sponsor the car but only the fuel if they buy HP fuel, and even then it will have to be dispensed through an HP dispenser with a monthly subscription. Brand is awful, unquote. Seems like not everyone's thrilled with the corporate angle.
Quite the debate brewing then. It's fascinating how a sponsorship can set the cat among the pigeons. Anything else catch your eye?
Just one more from user NotSota, quote, the goggles do nothing, unquote. Seems like a light-hearted reference to how flashy these brandings can be, not really offering much to the actual performance.
The blend of cynicism and humor, classic. Well, it's always entertaining to see how news like this gets everyone talking. Thanks for that rundown, William Turner. Thanks ever so much for joining us on F1 Motor Fever podcast today. We've had a spirited discussion about the latest Formula One races, team dynamics, and some spicy internet reactions to the new Ferrari sponsorship. Your company is what makes this all worthwhile. Please, do subscribe and tap the bell for notifications, you won't want to miss what's coming up. And if today's chat revved your engine, share it across your social platforms. Comments are always welcome, let us know your thoughts.
And remember to keep those engines idling for our next episode. We're broadcasting daily, so there's always something new just around the bend. Who knows what thrilling updates await us in the world of Formula One?
We truly appreciate your support and can't wait to bring you more from the fast-paced world of racing.
It's been a blast, and hey, who can resist a bit more of that team drama and trackside action?
Absolutely, William. So, until next time, remember, pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road, our channel's content is pure gold.